Okay, so right here is the car, and we're going to be test driving it, that type of thing. For right now. Later on, we're going to be modifying this car. So, without modifications, the car handles pretty fine. It's a bit drifty. The engine 4 horsepower, but still pretty drifty. Who knew? I think I may want to replace some of the rubber bushings because it's kind of bouncy. Because I replaced all the springs and other stuff, so looks like I'm going to be installing a rubber bushing. So I think right now we should return to the garage and start modifying this vehicle. So first off, this one is just a quick easy fix. Put in the new fuel pump. Okay, that is done. And you may hear this game just recently had an update, so there is different clicky sounds. Lift car. And now let's start taking off the engine, and because this is a process I've done already before, we're just gonna take it out without me having to show you that. So engine is now out. Okay, I've disassembled everything I need to, so now we can start assembling. So first off, we're putting in the pistons. And this car, because I'm doing the whole engine, oh, fucked up that. Because we're doing the whole engine, I'm going to assume it might make an extra 100 horsepower. I did it again. Come on. Select the right one. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put in this fuel filter over here. Ignition coil. B. And power steering pump. I don't know how you make more power from a power steering pump. To me, that just does not make sense. Yeah, so sometimes they're not in order, so I have to make sure that I put them in order. Let's see it. So that's good. Cam gear. Ring chain. Let's put the ignition distributor on right now. And I'm just gonna work over here. And here we go. Let's put that in. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna stop myself before I do that. Just make sure get everything in, so I'm gonna go through slowly instead of rushing through this whole process. Don't take that wrong. Okay, and now we can put on the engine heads. And there is one of the engine heads. While we're over here, let's put the exhaust manifold on. Let's work on this whole side and then move over to the other side. I'm just gonna leave that there. What does it matter? So this engine probably will make a lot more horsepower because like I have every single thing on here possibly that I could modify. Well, except for that one spark plug, which was stupid because it didn't automatically have the one in place, the one that was modified. So you gotta put all these valve push rods in, which is an annoying process, so I'll skip that again. Right now I'll skip it. That is done. Now let's put on the engine head cover. And that is one side of the engine completely done. Let's move over to this side. First things first, engine head is the thing that we need to put in on this side. And there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. All that's in. Put the exhaust manifold in on this side. Got a new fancy exhaust manifold that probably won't make the engine any much more horsepower, but and I did that wrong. Two more. And the last spark plug. Okay. So I have all that in. And now we can put on the intake manifold. Once again, it's made out of shiny stuff. But we're gonna work on this side first. Okay, we have that done. Now we need to put this engine head on. Well, not the head, but the engine head cover. Get my stuff mixed up. And now let's put on these two carburetors. Plus 12% horsepower. That's a marginal difference. That's considerably more. And it says 2, so that's going to be like 24% more horsepower just from those two. Now we need to put the round air filter on. Plus 1.2. And then the air filter cover. So, now let's put on the timing cover. And timing cover is now on. Water pump. And it's on. Water pump pulley. Crankshaft pulley. Serpentine belt B. Where you have serpentine belt A. Now I need to put on the radiator fan. Okay, so the radiator fan's on. Radiator. Now let's put on that ignition distributor rotor. And now we can put on, well, we had to put on the cap. Now we can put on these. So I don't know the difference between quality plus 1 and like this one more horsepower, this one quality plus 1. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me. Unless it means you get more for a job or something, I don't know. So now we need to put on like the clips. And so that's the main part of the engine done. Now we need to lift it up. When we lift it up, we're gonna need to put oil pan on, that type of stuff. So, flywheel. Now let's work down right below the engine. So, let's put on all these rod caps. Rod cap in. Piston 1 and 2 got the rod caps. Now piston 3 and piston 4 have their rod caps in. And it's fairly obvious what rod caps do. They hold the piston in. It like connects it to the crankshaft. Okay, now we need to put the oil pan on. Once we do this, we just need to put the rest of the gearbox on, and then that's pretty much it. So right here we have the clutch plate, clutch pressure plate. Most of these parts here are newer for, well, fancy parts, which means they make a bit more horsepower. And right here's the main gearbox. Obviously this doesn't have any fancy higher horsepower versions of it. For this drive shaft. And there we go. Now I just need to put oil in the engine. And this was a relatively short video compared to the one I did on Car Mechanic Sim right before this. So, let's put the oil fill plug in. Well, not put it in, but take it off and put some oil in the engine. Probably about enough. To check the dipstick. Dipstick says yes, that is enough. So, real quick off camera, I'm going to take all these rubber bushings and replace them. Okay, so I did a few more things to it. I added slicks to the back because it probably has a lot more power that it most likely could not control. And let's just have a look at this engine now. Looks really good. So, what we need to do is take it over to the dyno. So let's take it to the dyno. Here we are. And just close the engine bay. Start the dyno test. (564 horsepower) from a naturally aspirated V8. That's a lot of power. Question is, how does it handle with all these new suspension parts that I just fixed? Well, let's find out. So, let's see here. It's definitely a lot more power. And it handles a lot better too. Yeah, this thing definitely does handle a lot better. The amount of wheel spin I had before is almost gone. Okay, so now let's look. Yeah, there's not that much wheel spin. So this car is now very good to drive, so now that I've replaced a few of the suspension bits that actually did need replacing, this car is golden. But considering I have to drive with the mouse and keyboard, it's not that good. So let's see what speed we get up to right here. So we're limited by gearing at 4 gears at 200 and I'm gonna say 270 miles an hour, kilometers an hour. It's not that fast for some sports cars. It comes in at 133 miles an hour. That is still pretty fast, but I mean, if it just needs to have more gears. It really does. If it had more gears, it could keep going. But it doesn't have enough gears. So this car is really fun to drive around though. Right through that corner. Hopefully you liked this episode, and goodbye.